Hey everybody, it's Suzanne Conrad. What follows is a Lightyear principle called choice partnered with decision liberates. And this is from a body of work that I want to say is a little more advanced, but super practical. It's all about how to deal with life when you need to understand the difference between being in choice and making a decision from above the line of choice versus a decision that's a reaction. It's helpful when you're navigating your relationships and when you're in business and you're in the impact of someone else's decision. It's really valuable when you want to exercise your own liberty, frankly. It's one of my favorites. I guess I say that about all of them. But anyway, go ahead and have a listen and think about the ways that you can really begin to separate choice from decision and see how when they come together, you can have a better and higher impact. This is Suzanne Conrad from Lightyear Leadership, sharing with you the principle, choice partnered with decision liberates. Well, a lot of us get those two words mixed up. We think, oh, I'm going to make a decision or I'm going to make a choice. Let's break down what the difference is. A decision actually comes from the same set of words that are homicide, suicide, decide. Decide means to cut off. When we make a decision, it can be very, very powerful because we are cutting off other alternatives and giving ourselves wholeheartedly to our decision. Yet often people make decisions from reaction. So when we make a decision from that place, it tends to not be a great decision. And I don't even know if you can call that a decision. It might just simply be a reaction disguised as a decision. Now, choice, on the other hand, is what operates this planet when it is in its fullest glory. We are the giant experiment in free will, where we make choices. That's why personal responsibility is so vital to the work that we do. So choice is something that is continually taken from us, eroded from us in very minor ways. If you start to examine what happens in life as we grow through the educational system, as we grow through our career, we learn to live with less and less authentic choice or free will, and we call that a life. Yet if we really go back to giving ourselves choice, we'll find that in any moment we can restore ourselves if we choose choice. Now, let's put those two things together. Choice partnered with decision liberates. What this means is that there are times in our lives where we need to know our own decision-making rights. What are the things that are in our own boundary, our own purview in our life to make decisions about? And how do we go about discovering the expanded set of perspectives that choice allows us so that we can see the decision that we're about to make from many different views? We could think about it in terms of walking in another person's shoes, walking in another person's moccasins, looking from another person's set of eyes, sensing what that other person might be feeling. Those are all ways for us to get a richer understanding of the decision that we might make so that we can make a more holistic or what we could call multidimensional decision. Now, in our personal lives, this is critical because in relationships, we want to be able to see what are the areas where I'm making decisions? Where does my partner? And then you can imagine if that isn't done well, how all of that bleeds on into the decisions that people make in the workplace or the way that they vote or the way that they contribute to their community. So if you work in a larger organization, one of the things you're going to want to understand are what are the decision-making rights that other people have? Who do you need to collaborate with when a decision is made? Whose decision actually is it? Let's say someone makes a decision and, you're not totally aligned with it. Now remember, alignment doesn't equal agreement, yet you can do your best to communicate with that person, let them know the perspectives that you see that they may have failed to integrate into their decision, what you might see are the impacts. And yet, if it's their right to make that decision, that's their role in the company or their role in the family, whatever the system is, then you can use, as we have a principle for this within the personal power and wholeness work, I am, you are. Recognize that is their decision. Now, here's where most people fail to do a good job at this. They believe that their opinion about how that decision should have gone is more valuable than supporting the other person in the decision that they had the right to make and that they made. So what they do instead is complain and say, well, can you believe what he did? I just can't even believe that that's what happened. That's not right. And so all this goes on in the background. And what people don't recognize is that sabotages the organization and it sabotages the speaker. Here are some basic fundamentals that I'd like you to keep in mind as you're practicing and embodying this principle. First of all, not making a decision is making a decision. So if you're procrastinating, hesitating, you absolutely are making a decision by not making a decision. Also, consider that if you are faced with two paths, there's a Yiddish proverb that says, if you are faced with two paths, choose the third, meaning create a path that didn't exist before. Another way we talk about this is to choose the God of and versus the God of or. So the way the God of war sounds is, well, you either have to do this or that. And it's very likely that when that voice is playing inside your head, it's not going to be the best decision and it's not an authentic choice. If you don't have at least 3 options, you don't have an authentic choice. So remember that Yiddish proverb and take a pause if you are experiencing that you have only 2 paths and allow your mind and spirit to bring you a multiplicity of choices. And lastly, if the decision of another leaves you in a difficult situation, if you're in the impact of another person, instead of staying there and experiencing yourself as powerless or as a victim, make a new decision yourself. You can follow a decision with a new decision. You are never without choice. You only are if you say so. So please watch this also. If you use the power of your spoken word to say, I don't have a choice, then guess what? You don't have a choice. The way to reinstall choice in your life is to say, I choose choice. So to bring all this together, as you're going through your life, recognize that you're going to be making a series of decisions. Your life is the embodied autobiography of every decision that you've made in your life. That is the life that you have. And the more that you partner those decisions with true choice and make them from above the line in the plenitude of possibility, in the plenitude of your own connection with your best life, you're going to experience more liberation and more happiness and more global possibility.